Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Autocar Professional Dialogue. Today we have with us Mr. Vineet Sahni, the Group CEO of Lumax DK Jain Group. Mr. Sahni, thank you so much for sparing out the time.
Thank you, Mayank, for inviting me here.
Pleasure. We've just seen the FY 2022 coming to a close. So in your opinion, what has been the performance of the Indian automotive industry like?
So Mayank, Indian automotive industry has been going through its own ups and downs, and not this year but since 18-19. We had good year in 18-19, but post that COVID's semiconductor shortages and geopolitical situation, it had impacted the Indian industry. For March we were happy because March 22 in four-wheeler segment was similar to March 21 more or less. However, in two-wheeler industry we are 20-21% down, right? We see a upswing in commercial vehicles. So this year we have been down more or less around 12-14% as an industry. We hope to recover next year. That is the optimistic outlook.
Do you think that, given the current situation globally in terms of the supply constraints as well as the geopolitical situation, with Russia and Ukraine, the conflict still going on, do you think that FY 2023 could be a bit challenging for OEMs as well as the industry overall?
I personally feel it will remain challenging. However, auto industry is pretty resilient with a sound supply chain, and we have been able to overcome these obstacles in the past. So the challenge will continue. However, we should be doing well next year.
Okay. Yeah. You've commissioned a new electronics plant in Bawal in Manesar in Haryana in January this year. So that's like clearly to cater to the semiconductor requirement of the components that you are making, especially the lighting equipments that you are supplying to OEMs. So what is the situation right now if we talk about the semiconductor supply or the semiconductor shortage, which has been prolonged over the last so many months?
So you're right, we have set up a new plant, and this is a state-of-the-art plant. The reason for setting up this plant was the technology shift that is happening not only in lighting but in other products that we do. For example, gear shifters, telematics, antenna systems. So a lot of electronics is going into the passenger car segment and two-wheeler segment, and therefore the need of the electronic plants, which we have just commissioned in January this year. Semiconductor shortages did exist. However, we could leverage our global ability to buy components through our global partners, and from our side we could manage the situation well. Despite shortages, yes, there was a stretch, but we managed it right, and now we are able to create some inventories to ensure that we are able to serve our customers in the right way.
So would you be continuing with this same strategy going forward as well, over inventorizing or ordering in advance for your upcoming production cycles?
Yes, we will continue with the same strategy till the situation stabilizes, and I think it will take some 6-8 months more to stabilize the situation, everything remaining as it is. If things do change due to COVID or war or something, that is we should not consider it now. But yes, we will continue with this inventory, keeping the inventory for electronic parts.
Sure. With this new plant, you've localized these PCB assemblies within India. So in that sense, how has the gross localization kind of improved in the products that you are supplying to the OEMs?
So it has improved a lot. First of all, that there has been a push to localize things in India, and with this plant we are able to localize products right from the inception. Earlier, the inception was through imported parts, and then there was a plan to localize. Now all new products we are localizing right from inception. Plus there is a plan to localize the imported parts. So there is a two-pronged strategy to increase localization. One is to localize right from the beginning, and another is to localize the imported parts so that step by step we increase the localization percentage.
Right. So could you quantify this number? I mean, how much have you improved in terms of the localization right now?
Yeah. So let's divide this into two buckets. The conventional parts without electronics are more or less fully localized, but then with the change in technology, the import content again started going up, right? So now we are around 70% localized, considering that the new product also will be localized right from inception stage. This effect will be seen after 2 years because the product development cycle is around 2 years.
Right.
So, but at the end of 2 years from now, we would be around 70% localized.
I want to touch upon this topic of the product development. So what are Lumax's plans in terms of engineering and development of these new technologies which we are going to see coming in the future?
So that's a very good question, because this will remain a backbone of any industry. The way the technology is changing, a sound R&D and a sound product development process and project management will be the strength of any organization. As Lumax Group, we are focused on this. 1 year ago, we opened our European office, which is a pure R&D office. 5 years ago, we had opened office in Taiwan, which is again a design and tool project management office. We have our design resources in Japan. So as Lumax Group, we are able to synergize between European, Japanese and Taiwanese technology and the skill sets, and to serve the Indian market. So we are able to generate the right strategy to serve the customers in India. So our focus on R&D is pretty intense.
Is there a roadmap that you could elaborate, how much more manpower you would be incorporating into this R&D, vertical of
So
Lumax?
I would not like to give you a direct number, but as a direction, we are going to increase our strength in R&D step by step.
Right. And if we talk about some of the new trends in terms of lightings, so could you briefly explain about what could we expect in the market in the coming short term?
Sure. So lighting, as you see, is fast changing from conventional halogen bulb to LEDs.
Right.
And within LEDs, there are various features which are coming in. For example, daytime running light, DRL, right? And in many countries, it is mandated. But India, it is still aesthetic. But very soon, it can be mandated. Also, fully LED headlamps and rear lamps are coming in. Fog lamps are changing into LED, right? And in near future, camera technology will also get integrated. Lot of focus is there on the safety, and lightings are contributing a lot towards the safety of a passenger, because it actually gives you the vision when you are driving. So lot of focus on technology is coming to improve the safety of people who drive either a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler or a commercial vehicle.
Right.
Hence this technology is changing very fast.
Right. Mr. Sahni, Lumax is a company which has rather been fortunate in terms of having products which are kind of technology agnostic. If we talk about the propulsion technologies, we are seeing a disruption coming in terms of electric vehicles. So going forward, do you see more opportunities to expand into that side of products as well? And are you looking at newer avenues of products going forward?
So as you said, we are fortunate. Yes, I agree. We are not facing that kind of a disruption because our products are agnostic. Like EV change is happening and the lighting will go there, and LED lighting is going there. We are absolutely open for new products, and as an organization we are working towards finding those opportunities which can serve our customer better. See, ultimately our objective as Lumax is how can we serve our customers better. If customer needs a solution, we should be able to provide that solution to the customer. So that has been our focus, and that will remain our focus also.
So what would be some of these product lines, if you could be a little specific about where you would be wanting to enter in the coming future, and also with Lumax Auto Technologies, which is a completely different vertical, which perhaps is focusing on these new avenues itself.
So I would like to avoid naming the product. It is too premature to talk about it. So we have a strategy to grow our current products into the new streams. For example, gear shifters, e-actuators, we are getting into antenna systems, telematics. These are all oxygen sensors. These are all our existing products which we are going to grow in the near future. Plus we are getting into new products as a solution to our customer. So we are working on that. The business plans are in the making, not yet frozen. So very soon you will know about that.
Sure. And you had applied for the PLI scheme and you have been given approval under that incentive scheme by the government. So what is the roadmap under the PLI scheme, and how does the company envision to invest towards into new products to get the benefits from that particular incentive scheme?
Yeah, so Lumax Auto Technology in particular is into PLI scheme, and we have certain commitment towards investment, and we have also commitment towards certain revenue on that. So we are now in the planning stage of converting that PLI into reality. So new products plus certain products that we have also would qualify for PLI scheme.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sahni, you've also consistently maintained that Lumax's focus right now is going to be in the domestic market. So would that hold true going forward, or do you also look at exploring the export opportunities that the industry might also offer?
No, we will continue to serve domestic market. There are a lot of opportunities, and all the technology leverage that we are taking from our Europe office, Taiwan or Japan is basically to serve our Indian customer better. So our focus in short term will remain on Indian market.
Right. Final question. So what would be your outlook of the next fiscal FY 2023? You mentioned that there could be some challenges in the near future, but what would be your overall outlook for the next fiscal, and would you see Lumax needing to invest into more capacities, both in terms of manufacturing as well as human resources going forward?
So again, a personal view, I feel we should be able to reach 18-19 level next year, because automotive has been seeing decline since then, but we should be reaching or crossing that level next year. From Lumax side, we will continue to invest in R&D because that is the need of the hour, and we will have to add on capacities on certain product lines which are maturing up now, the new businesses, the new JVs. So we have our plan to invest in those capacities, and we also have plan to increase our resources and skill upgradation in R&D facilities.
So skill upgradation, I'm just putting an additional question here. So do you believe skill upgradation, with the kind of disruptions that we're seeing in the overall automotive space, is that going to be a very relevant aspect for?
Extremely important. That will make or break the plans. The human skills, the competence of people, because a lot of electronic would need the right set of people. So we need to do a lot of work towards skill upgradation, hiring the right mind, building the right culture, which delivers the right quality to the customer. That is going to be the key differentiator in future.
Right. On that note, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayank. Thank you so much. Right.